I'm a doctor. I've devoted most of my professional life to seeking a cure for leukemia. You could say that dealing with cancer patients has given me a special perspective on life. I've learned what's really important. Watching other children die, I consider it a blessing that my own children are healthy. On the morning of April 29, 1986, I learned about the accident. A desperate call for help from the Soviet authorities meant that I arrived in Moscow's Hospital 6 4 days later. They took me down to the sterile block on the 5th floor. Patients were ensconced in life islands, breathing filtered air, 4 plastic bubbles, with 1 patient in each. Outside the block, there was a red line on the floor, and before crossing over, we put on special gear. These men had been fighting something most of us can't imagine, a fire that reached 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, with water that became scalding hot and highly radioactive. At the time, some of them had no protective gear whatsoever. When I first saw him, severe blisters scarred his entire face. His gums were raw with a white, lacy look caused by infection. Then, over the next few days, the skin peeled away, and his gums turned fire engine red like raw beef. Ulcers spread across his body. The membranes lining his intestines eroded. We administered morphine to ease the pain, but even when delirious, he remained in dreadful agony. The awful nature of radiation burns is that they get worse rather than better. Because old cells die and young ones are unable to reproduce as a result of the damage. Toward the end, he was barely recognizable. As a doctor, it's a very difficult thing to admit. But his death several weeks later was a kindness and a mercy that perhaps should have come sooner. I will never forget the sorrow in his eyes. It may be that the greatest contributions made at Hospital 6 were not the lives saved, but the lives lost. For the failure to save lives demonstrated how deadly nuclear power can be, and how helpless the world is when radiation rages wild. In the end, we all live near Chernobyl. We all owe a debt of gratitude to those who fought and paid dearly to tame it.